This Grant Park 165 betting picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code RACESGPN. We are also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
SVG, SVG, SVG. Shout out to Boji Joe. You're welcome. You win the bet if you placed it. There was a bet pre-show, Rod, who would say SVG first. And I was at minus like 1 million because I was going to start the show with the chant, but here we are.
I mean, look, for the other side of the bettors, I tried. I literally was trying to give you guys the plus money bettors. I was trying to give you the opportunity to win, but Cody.
I even jumped the start a little bit and went before the music was done. So I had to make sure that if you're gonna lay that much juice on me, Rod, you only pay the juice if you lose. I don't want you to lose.
So what you're saying is you had a restart violation, so you're gonna have to move you to the back of the longest line.
NASCAR has looked at it. They've determined that even though they put me on the damage clock, even though they listed me as in the incident, that I can still go back to fourth place for some reason. So,
Boji Joe, we have the smartest audience in the entire world. That's a pass-through penalty, Rod. I know it is. Jump the restart, pass-through penalty. Let's say hello to some folks as we jumped on. Andrew Minch saying, "What's up, guys?" Shandy from the Discord. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Andrew?
Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Good evening, guys. Boji Joe.
Evening, Jessica.
Let's go. And then, of course, Andrew, SVG, which we've already gotten there. But yeah, God, boy, I love you guys. I love you guys. We're going to continue on through it. But
little Joker,
so
we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that in a few.
We will.
JDK, great episode of the year. We have a lot of SVG stands in our community, Rod. So they always love when we get to talk about this. I will say, some people are going to be pretty surprised at who's on certain people and who's not on certain people in multiple facets, I think, as we go through this show. So you're going to want to stay tuned, Rod.
Yeah, this is not going to be your average Chicago street race. And listen, we're going to pull back from the rich history on this course and give you all of the I'm just kidding. Listen, everybody here, because we'll get into the news in a little bit, but this race is actually shorter than last year by 20 laps. I mean, or not 20 laps. What is it? There was 220 last year, so it's 165 this year. So I think it is 20 laps. It's shorter by 20 laps. It's not even the same race. So talk about handicapping this thing.
Well,
handicapping.
So handicapping. So let's set the stage here, right? You're gonna have to approach this like a super speedway, not in the fact where you take a bunch of long shots necessarily, although I don't think it's a bad idea to have some, but where you go into this knowing that this is going to be a shit show, knowing that we don't know anything about this. We had last year's race, yes, but the rain last year, the circumstances last year, there's a few things you can take from last year, and we may reference those things as we kind of look back. I was trying to look at the forecast here. 34% on Sunday.
Don't,
so
because it's gonna whatever it's
definitely
it's gonna rain.
It's 34% chance, aka 100.
Yeah.
So yeah, but who knows if it ends up being that way again? If not, yeah, I just like you have to approach this like you would approach betting on a super speedway, where you go into it, you're expecting to lose all of these. If you hit some stuff, great. Just kind of enjoy it for the show that it is. Not that you should be trying to feed your family in any of these episodes, Rod, but this is not the one to do that.
It's true. This is not. All right. We'll talk about some news here in a second, and we'll actually continue on with our talk of Chicago. But the latest episode of SGP Stories is out now on Patreon, and the guys do a forensic file style deep dive on the Bobby Petrino motorcycle accident that cost him his job. Plus, go make sure to check out the WNBA podcast, as Terrell and Scott have started out red hot with their locks. Cody, there are a few news stories floating out there this week, actually.
Yes, there are a few news stories. Number one, the Wood brothers have an announcement on Wednesday to announce their driver for 2025. Josh Berry will be the driver. Sounds like Rodney Childers is not going with him, though, Rod. So very interesting plot twist there. I don't know. I never felt like the two were married. I think people did for whatever reason. If I was Rodney Childers, I don't know that I would want to be necessarily married to Josh Berry when everyone in the garage should want you. If Joe Gibbs has not already offered him the entire bag for the 19 crew chief, he's fucking up. But we'll see where Childers ends up. But it looks like Josh Berry to the 21. Not really shocking there. We had heard Briscoe, right? It seemed like they were going hard after him. We had heard Haley. But I think Berry's a good fit. The question was brought up in the Discord, what has Josh Berry done to earn these rides? And I kind of had the same question about the 4-car. Dale Jr. loves him, so I get it. But like outside of that, it was the same thing like coming into the season where he was like, one of the second-tier favorites to win the championship when a rookie's not done that like ever. And it's like, he always just gets overhyped for whatever reason. He'll be fine in the 21 car. The 21's not a bad car. We've seen drivers have success in it before. Ryan Blaney's of the world. It's basically a fourth Penske car. Now the third Penske car kind of struggles at times. Well, the second Penske car kind of struggles at times too. But, obviously a massive upgrade from Harrison Burton. Not that hard to achieve. But that is the case, Rob.
And listen, to be honest with you, I know iRacing plays a lot in it. No, I'm just kidding. Here's the thing with Josh Berry. This is one of those situations where this could be the last big opportunity for him. If he really does not turn anything here, and maybe he does, maybe he turns that 21 car back into a competitor, right? I mean, we've seen it, like you said before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. He can outdrive that equipment. But, I mean, if he doesn't this time, who's going to really, there's not a lot of seats that are going to be open that are of the, I don't know. It baffles me too. You're right. Cause Josh Berry sort of middling his way into the Cup Series.
And like that being said, it's not that I don't think he deserves this ride. Cause I think of the choices that are out there, he's fine fit for this ride. All the hype that's all been all over him and like getting the 4 car. Was he the guy who should have got what should have been? Not looking back.
I was going to say
maybe that wasn't such a great opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on next year. We'll probably throw some stuff at him. Kyle G saying first live stream optimal locks. Hey, buddy, you are definitely active in the Discord. Excited to get in on the live show. Yeah, we're excited to hear you.
Boji Joe talking Childers takes over for Petrie. I have heard some, maybe that's wishful thinking from Kyle Busch fans, but I have heard some people that want to, him to go pair up with Kyle Busch. You think like a great mind like that and a great driver like that, that could actually work out pretty good. So it will be interesting to kind of see where he lands. Boji Joe also saying it's been raining all day today. If that matters, do you live in Chicago? And then that would be interesting to know. But it looks like it's going to rain like Friday too. Should be good for the weekend, but you know how it goes, Rod. The one other piece of news, Joey Logano is going to make his first Xfinity Series start since 2019 this weekend at Chicago. He's going to do so piloting the number 15 car for AM Racing. if you're wondering, the number 15 car is Haley Deegan's full-time ride. Not so much full-time anymore. I don't know that this is super surprising because obviously she's not been performing very well. I think that's well documented, and whether that's the team thing, whether that's a her thing, I don't know. So I understand, and their reasoning, and like they said, is basically we haven't been performing well. We want to see what's going on with the car. Who better to give us, feedback than Joey Logano? Makes perfect sense. What doesn't make perfect sense, Rod, is you're doing this at the street course. We have one street course a year. We don't have that many road courses left. How's this going to help the car's performance on ovals? How's this going to help the car's performance anywhere else? I get the reasoning, but not here. What does it make any sense? I just don't. It makes zero sense to me. Why this weekend? Why? I don't know. I don't get it.
Never you mind about the why, Cody. Never, just don't even worry about it. Like they've got their, no, honestly, this is one of those situations. And I know Boji Joe said that they moved her up too soon. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, when, you got to give these drivers shots, and she did get her shot. Could she have gotten it in better equipment and done better? I don't know. Like that's the tough thing about any driver. It doesn't matter.
Done well, like Moffitt had done well in it. So what's the difference in last year and this year? Is it just her? Did they have some other changes? You assume there's more money coming in because of her. She brings a lot of sponsorship to the
Celsius
the
money.
Table. And
Celsius. No, that's
no, she's got the vodka and the whatever else. But I don't know.
Honestly, this is, and will they bring her back? I mean, is this a one-off, or if Joey does well and they're like, oh, it's definitely the driver, do they let her go? Like, I mean, that's gotta suck to get Wally pipped for Joey Logano and then not get your ride back for the rest of the year. I mean, Joey Logano's not going to keep it, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, guess what? It was the car. Or it was the driver. So we're not going to bring you back. So I don't know. It's probably difficult to get out of that contract.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you've probably already broken the contract because I would assume it's a full-time contract. So I don't know. And then it's weird, like, oh, hey, sorry, we didn't let you race last week. Welcome back this week. I don't know. And it's a business. I get it. And if you have the chance to put Joey Logano in there, you probably should.
Oh, yeah.
It just, I mean, maybe that's just like, well, this is the best reason we can come up with. We had a chance to get him this week because he wants more track time on the street course. So here you go. I don't know, but it's definitely an interesting thing.
Yeah, and we'll see how that actually plays out. Obviously, unless there's a better driver that gets in that 15, it's not going to affect us in the betting world. So, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting news to definitely keep in the back of your mind as we start to watch it play out. Speaking of playing out, Cody, the Cup drivers are taken to the Chicago Street Course, and we will give you all of our favorite bets as we always do from this race. But first, let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog's going to automatically double flex your entry so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win that entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. And the best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount. Plus, now you can use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Cannot wait to give you all of our favorite underdog plays for this street race. Hopefully we do well. Hopefully we nail it. And hopefully there's not a lot of chaos to bring it all down. And don't miss your chance to try it out before it's all said and done. So sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Of course, Circa contests have no rake. Circa Millions, pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and compete for $6 million or survive the NFL gauntlet to claim the $10 million prize. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th. Use a proxy to play from anywhere in the world. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. Don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football? Shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Not a lot of people do. But the Ultimate Contest weekend is a great time to go hang out with Sean and Ryan. You can enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through August the 24th. I feel like every time I come back from saying this one and I make a open bar comment, it's like, okay, Rod, we get it. But no, seriously, I love me an open bar. So I'm probably going to try to get there.
You cash that minus 5,000 on Rod mentioning the open bar. Catch up on the chat, Rod. Justin checking in, our buddy Chiefs from over in the Discord. KFB top 10 and outright. Morning News Music was checking in as well. Maybe it just works for Logano's schedule. Can't imagine he'd be willing to race outside of the Cup at any moment. We're getting short on race. I think he probably wants extra track time on the street circuit because, you don't get many opportunities. They're allowing the Cup guys to race Xfinity this year since it's not a new place. I get that, but I just don't get how that translates to this is going to help make the car better for the rest of the season. So whatever. But hey, if Joey says he can race, let Joey race.
Let Joey race. I'm sorry. I was laughing real quick. TF Punk saying I'm running a chainsaw as I'm listening. So I'd appreciate if you guys would shout for the rest of the show. You'd appreciate it, DM Punk, but I'm sure the rest of the listeners.
All right, Rod, here we go.
No!
You want to take a look at the entry list, Rod?
Yeah, let's take a look at the entry list.
We have 40 cars entered, so it will be a full field. All 40 cars will make the race. AJ Allmendinger is going to be in an additional colleague car in the number 13. Kaz Growler returns in the 15 car. Shane Van Gisbergen in the 16 car for colleague, which is interesting. Why would Trackhouse not field the Project 91 car again? He won in it last year. I don't know. But also, have you seen the SVG car, Rod?
I have not.
It's a Saucy Nugs Wendy's car. It is fucking gorgeous. So, I might have to get that die cast. Austin Hill making another start in the 33 for RCR. Joey Hand is going to be in that 60 car for RFK. Go ahead and keep that in the back of your mind. We might be talking about Mr. Hand here in a bit. And Josh Balicki in the 66 car. If he was in any other car, Rod, I would consider finding a way to bet on Josh Balicki this weekend. But you absolutely cannot bet on that 66 car because it is not good.
No. One more 6 in there, and you probably have the right temperature at which that car is going to run. It is, of course, the Chicago Street Course in Chicago, Illinois. We are set for 75 laps around this 2.20 mile road course for 165 even miles. 2.2 mile road course, Cody. This is barely a road course and definitely not an oval. So, it's one of those things where
I don't necessarily like the road course word for this track because it's not a road course. It's a street course. And as we go through it, we're going to compare some road course stuff because we don't have street courses to look at. But, when we talk about IndyCar in the past and whatnot, there's a big difference between road courses and street courses. And even over in F1, there's a difference in the road courses and street courses. That remains true here. That's one of the reasons SVG won last year because our guys had never raced on the street courses before. So again, important note, I think.
Yeah. I mean, when you think of road courses, right, you think of the giant undulations, you think of the rumble strips, you think of all of these things that are built because it is a built road course. You're literally drag racing down the middle of whatever Main Street and stoplights. You got to stop at look, every time you catch a yellow, you're behind and then the red light and you're done. So, there's all sorts of potholes. There's manhole covers. There's, last night's dinner. I don't know. It's just all kinds of stuff that's on a street course that isn't on a well manicured road course. So,
Nick Fortune checking in. Afternoon, Hot Rod, Sassy Cody. Hopefully you're keeping safe over there, Cody. Storms in Iowa. Yes, I was up till 1 o'clock this morning watching the tornadoes because, there was one here in town. Luckily, I think everybody's okay. Now, flooding. We got 7 inches of rain here yesterday, Rod. So, and it's been, and that's on top of all the rain we've already had. The interstate just across the Nebraska-Iowa border is, gone. It's covered in the river currently. Been a lot of fun. So hopefully you're staying safe over there as well, Nick, and everyone else that is affected here. Boji Joe wants to know if I'm coming. Chicago's only 8 hours from here. I would love to go. Unfortunately, the 4th of July is a very busy beer holiday, so I'm a little busy at work right now.
Yeah, it's you don't say, huh? All right, Cody. I think we're good and well and ready to start handing out some bets. What about you?
Let's do it.
All right, Cody, where are we starting?
Well, Rod, would this be a proper Chicago street course race if we started anywhere else? No, it wouldn't. I'll say it a little louder for our buddy DM Punk on the chainsaw. SVG! SVG! Give me SVG. Even money for a top 5. You can find this at Bet365. A couple other places still have it at even money. I would not lollygag on your way over to place this bet because it's not going to be that way much longer. It's already minus 140 some other places. So go get SVG right now. Top 5, even money. I don't think that this is an SVG just comes in and kicks everyone's ass and runs away with this race. But I think it's possible that he could do that. I think he's going to be top 5 some way or another. He might win this race. If he does, I'm covered here. I may or may not pull the trigger on his outright later. We'll talk about that when we get to the outright section, Rod. But the way to get in on SVG, I think, is getting this even money at plus 100. So rush to your local book and place this bet quickly. And then as you're placing it, as you hit submit, Rod, you have to chant out loud, SVG, SVG. And yes, Boji Joe saying minus 120 on the Roman. I would still take, if that's the only thing you get, I would still probably take that.
I would rather you walk into your local sports book just chanting SVG. That's what I'd like. Brian
checking in. He's not going to. You're about to be booed in the comments, my friend. SVG is last week's Chastain and overvalued ahead of practice qualifying, in my opinion. I've had my fair share of hate over the time of SVG, and I still, when we go to road courses in the Cup Series, don't think that we should be betting on him because it's not been working out. And I still stand by that. I think that the street course aspect of this still leans heavy in the SVG area. I don't think this is even the books don't think this is an SVG runaway. He's not the favorite. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get in on him in some way, shape, or form because I'm going to feel silly if I don't. That's why I'm kind of taking the safe route. It's even money. It's a top 5. If he doesn't hit it, again, I'm treating this much like a road course, or much like not a road course because it's not, Rod, much like a super speedway in, betting small amounts and really not planning on winning much this week.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones where we're going to guard everything. We're going to guard your bankroll with our lives. We're going to go commercial free. I would like to go commercial free. So I'm going to do this and then I'll start giving out the rest of my bets as well. I'm going to tell you about Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Rhythm projections have been red hot for WNBA and golf. So go claim that 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. I know there's a lot of talk over here in the chat. Somebody was talking about go ahead and forget AJ at your own peril. I know Brian is talking about dingers in the same equipment, but double the outright pace. That makes zero sense.
We got plenty of dinger talk coming up. Here's right here.
Here's my dinger talk. This is what you got to know that I'm going to bring up AJ Allmendinger, the guy that is near and dear to my heart, the guy who last week was besmirched and yet still managed a decent finish. Not the one we were looking for, but still a good one. He is right now currently listed against Martin Truex Jr. That is his head-to-head matchup. AJ Allmendinger over against Martin Truex Jr. I'm definitely taking AJ in this situation, especially at plus 105 over on Superbook. There are books that have this at minus money. So grab this plus 105 because this is definitely a gift at Superbook. I almost don't feel like I have to really give much of an explanation to this, especially if you know NASCAR well. But if you don't, AJ Allmendinger, one of the best Xfinity road course driver out there, he still translates into a street. I mean, he finished 17th in this race last year, but I can't really say much about last year that hasn't already been said. I don't think that translates this. So And like Little Joker says, that this isn't Sonoma, Truex versus AJ. That's one of the things where, and even this year in Sonoma, right? This year in Sonoma, Martin Truex finished 27th, Coda 10th, Charlotte Roval 20th. Last season was a good year for him, where he was 6th at the Watkins Glen, 7th at the Indy Road Course, and he won at Sonoma. But before that, 17th at Coda, 17th at the Roval, 23rd at Watkins Glen, 21 at, last year was last year was a good year for him, but bookended by 2 terrible years. AJ, 6th place at Sonoma, 6th place at Coda, won the Charlotte Roval in 2023, 4th at Watkins Glen, didn't have a good Indy Road Course. He finished 26th, but 6th at Sonoma. Coda bit him in the ass in 2023, got 34th, but 4th at the Roval, 2nd at Watkins Glen, 7th at the Indy Road Course, 9th at Road America. It's just, when you put the left and right turns into AJ Allmendinger's repertoire, he performs, and he performs well. He is not afraid of this. He's not afraid of this new track. And we're talking about SVG at almost half the price of what you're paying for AJ. AJ's the more experienced driver. Shane got what Shane got last year. He got the experience of everybody else not knowing what's going on. That's not going to happen this year. People are going to be out for him. They're not going to play nice with him. They're not going to give him anything. He's going to have to earn it all, and he'll earn some stuff. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But AJ has already earned all that. And I think this is the year where it comes back to him. Like I said, he finished 17th. Truex finished 32nd in this race last year. So it's not this for a guy who's going to be leaving. Do you really think that he's going to actually go out and be like, okay, I got to get this one? This is like all right, this is fun to be in Chicago again, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get all bullied around and muscled over, right? I'm going to go run my race, and AJ's out there to win. So, that's where I got to take AJ over Truex.
I have a lot more thoughts on AJ, so I will reserve those. I would play the AJ side of this at minus 130, Rod. So plus 105. Yeah, sign me up. It was said perfectly by Little Joker. This ain't Sonoma.
No.
What are we doing? I don't. This doesn't make any sense. And if you look at Truex, like, he's a good road course racer at Sonoma and Watkins Glen, the places we've been going for a million years. Oh, this is our second time at Chicago, and potentially kind of our first time at Chicago and in these situations. So yeah, love the AJ over Truex here. Guy that I'm very high on the week, Rod, Justin Haley. I'm going to take his top 10 at plus 450. Let's hope for a little bit of a bigger number, but still going to pull the trigger here. Justin Haley actually finished second in this race last year. Yeah, he was in a call-it car. Yes, there was all the other scenarios, pitting and shortening the race and this and that. But, like, he almost beat SVG at the end. Like, SVG ended up getting the best of him, but he led 23 laps late in this thing. He's an up and down road course guy. He's not had good results in the two we've had this season in the Cup Series. So, looking at those isn't great. You go back to 2022, though, he had a 5th at the Roval, he had a 12th at Sonoma. So kind of some upside races. Go back to the Xfinity Series, though, 3 top 5 finishes in his last full-time season over there in 2022. So I do like that. And like, he finished every race inside the top 10. So he's definitely got some capabilities on the road courses. It's obviously a street course. But he's been really good on, like, the really short tracks, like the Coliseum comes to mind, Rod, where it is short, tight turns, braking, that kind of stuff translates into a track like this. This is going to be a track position race, I think. I don't think there's going to be a ton of passing. We didn't see a ton of passing last year. Again, a lot of different scenarios, circumstances. SVG drove through everyone at the end of the thing. I get it, but if Haley can find track position and get it, I think that he can keep it. I think that, and I mentioned this in the Discord earlier too, I don't think that equipment matters as much this week. So although the Rick Ware cars have actually been pretty good, I think that the equipment's even closer this week because you don't need a ton of speed. You don't need a ton of, right? It's going to be more about the drivers than anything on this type of track. So I think if Justin Haley can get some good track position, which he's been doing a great job of all season everywhere, right? We continue to see him find his way in a track position, stay smart. He was very, very impressive last year, leading all of those laps late on in the race. Again, all the different circumstances and scenarios. Nobody else got up there and passed him but SVG. Finishes in second place. Give me Justin Haley top 10 at plus 450.
Yeah, I mean, just lately, top 10 is such a that's his spot. I mean, he's been able to find his way into the top 10, and I still at plus 450. That's crazy. I mean, I know we're at a street course. I know it's not an oval. I know it's not that, but a guy that's been living inside of the top 10 at plus 450. I think that's definitely a stab you got to take. A guy who's not necessarily been living in the top 10 lately, Cody. That is Ty Gibbs. Hey, listen. You had to appease the SVG crew. I have to piss off the Ty Gibbs crew. I apologize for this. But if I read off the finishes from his last 5 races, you cry. And even let's go back 6 races, because the 6th race was the 11th place at Gateway. So or the 6th race rather. So 11th at Gateway, 37th at Sonoma, 25th at Iowa, 16th at Loudon, 23rd at Nashville. We know how good Ty Gibbs is. It's not as if we're saying to you, Ty Gibbs is a terrible driver. You should never bet on him again. But boy's in a slump right now. Really bad slump. And not even a really bad slump just over the last few races. I mean, his average finish right now is 14.7. So that's already alarming, right? As alarming as my battery light coming on in the middle of this show as I got to plug in. But no, I mean, that's already alarming enough as it is. And a guy who's going to it's not a road course. He's good on road courses. We know this, right? We absolutely know that Ty Gibbs is good on road courses, to the tune of a 3rd place at Coda, 4th place at the Roval in 2023, 5th place at Watkins Glen, 12th at the Indy Road Course, 18th at Sonoma. I mean, those are all outside of the top 10 too. But at Sonoma this last time, 37th place. That's not a Ty Gibbs type number, right? That's not something you see Ty Gibbs put up on road courses. Something is not right. Therefore, his finishing position is set at 10.5. I'm going to take the other side of it. I think he finishes outside of the top 10, 11th or worse. So I think that's over, right? Over 10.5 or under?
That would be over. Over is worse.
Yeah. Yes, so then I'll take that.
The wording on this is funny. Rod, let's just go ahead and jump into my next bet, because my next bet, your bet was Ty Gibbs over 10.5. My next bet's Ty Gibbs under 10.5. That's right. We're not even waiting for the Xfinity Series show. If you don't listen to the Xfinity Series show, Rod and I generally have at least one disagreement a week on there. This is our disagreement here. You're wrong about Ty Gibbs. And yeah, that's really all I had to say. But no, you made the case for him. He's really fucking good at road courses, Rod. 3rd at Coda, 4th at the Roval, 5th at Watkins Glen, 9th here last year, 9th at Coda last year.
Hey, Cody.
Had good.
Hey, Cody, is this a road course?
He finished 9th here. He's 1 for 1, finishing better than 10.5 on street courses, Rod. So give me Ty Gibbs under 10.5. I have more thoughts on Ty Gibbs as the show goes on. So stay tuned to my Ty Gibbs friends. Hopefully you didn't turn the dial when Rod was,
besmirching the name of Ty Gibbs.
Besmirching the name of our good Lord and Savior Tyrone Gibbs. But no, this is the type of, this could be the week, Rod. This could be the Ty Gibbs week. Like, what better place? He comes into the Xfinity Series, first career start, road course, kicks everybody's ass. Now we're coming into this street course. Again, we had one last year. Yeah, I get it, blah, blah, blah. But this is a chance for him to show up. He is really, really talented on lefts and rights, much like an AJ Allmendinger. This is a great spot for him. 10.5. All he has to do is finish inside the top 10, minus 115. Love it for Tyrone Gibbs. So I will take the opposite side of you and go with the under. And then, Rod, I added that box in this bet specifically because I saw your bet and I wanted to rebut. But also, AJ Allmendinger under 8.5. What are we doing? Somebody mentioned this in the chat. Well, a lot of you people have given out a lot of our bets earlier in the chat.
Seriously.
Sometimes if we don't talk about your comment, it's because maybe it's coming up later. AJ Allmendinger under 8.5, Rod. One of the greatest road course races in all of NASCAR history. What are we doing here? I don't like, and again, it was Kyle G who made it because he says, there it is. But I remember he's the one who commented that earlier. But also somebody else made a point in the comments earlier. He's in the same equipment as SVG is. We're expecting SVG to be one of the top favorites here. You look at the people who in this race have street course experience outside of last year's race, obviously, right? So SVG, we know, of course. Joey Hand has some street course experience, I believe, in the stuff that he's done. Balicki, I would guess, probably does somewhere in all the stuff he's run. AJ Allmendinger used to run IndyCar, he used to run IMSA. He's run all this kind of shit, Rod. He's got experience on this. This is the perfect spot for AJ Allmendinger. He's being super undervalued. Give him to me at better than 8.5, which would be under 8.5. This is available over on Caesars. Also, AJ Allmendinger is the top finishing Chevrolet plus 750, Rod. If you go over to the Chevrolet market and you look at it, of course, at the top, you got Kyle Larson. Makes sense, right? He should be good on a road course type of track. It's not a road course, but again, but if you look past Kyle Larson, who we know doesn't know finish races, SVG, obviously. SVG is the top. Sorry, but forgot to mention him. But, Rod, maybe this isn't the one where he gets it done. Maybe he gets punted. Maybe people don't want him to win this race 2 years in a row, and they rough him up. I mean, all these things are potentially on the table. So if SVG has a problem, we know Kyle Larson can have a problem. Then you got Chase Elliott there. Yeah, I think he's going to do good. He's probably going to finish inside the top 20. We know that because that's what he does every week. But then AJ's next on the list. Then it's William Byron. Well, he's been having shit for luck lately and just hasn't run well. Then you're down into Suarez, Chastain, Busch. You can make a case for, but like, I really like an AJ here at plus 750 for top Chevy. So in this box, Rod, a lot of talking. But we had Gibbs under 10.5 to finish better than, AJ under 8.5 to finish better than, and AJ top Chevy plus 750.
Yeah, I definitely love the AJ. Just can't get behind the Ty Gibbs because I definitely told you why I couldn't do it. But look, for AJ Allmendinger, and I know that everybody in here is all about AJ, which I love you all for it too. So I do want to get back to something my brother said too. He said maybe it's just me, but it feels like the street course is too gimmicky for my taste. I'll wait and see what the racing shows me. We didn't get a chance to see it last year. I don't think we got a chance to fully see what this could be. So we'll, like you, Nick, I think I'll hold my final judgment until.
And a couple of things, right? It's probably not going to be a ton of passing. This could stretch out. It could be a lot of follow the leader, but I will say street course racing is new to NASCAR. So we have to figure it out, right? We got to figure out how to make it work. Stock cars on street courses are a newer thing. We don't usually see that. Even in IndyCar, even in F1, these races sometimes get strung out. It ends up turning into a strategy game and whatnot. So let's give it some time. We gotta, don't just hang it all on what happens this year because, we're coming back next week already or next year because they've got a 3-year deal as far as we know. So yeah, I like it.
Me too. Little Joker saying horrible week to boycott a Ty Gibbs bet. Yeah, it might be, and I'll definitely own it on Monday if it doesn't work out.
Oh, you'll be owning. I'm going to be down in monsters over here celebrating Ty Gibbs win, and you're going to be sitting over there with your tail tucked, thinking, "Why did I take him worse than 10.5 when he won this race?"
Well, listen, here's a top 10 that I'm way more comfortable taking than this, and this is plus money.
Way more comfortable taking?
Yeah. Listen, Joey Logano, top 10, plus 220. Joey Logano did this last year. Cody, if you want to make the same argument, for Ty Gibbs doing it last year, Joey Logano finished inside of the top 10 last year on this street course as well. Joey Logano riding the momentum of, he's still got gas in his tank from last week. He's still rolling off of that same petrol that he filled up with at Nashville. So
it would make sense that he talked to Scott Dixon last week about how to make the fuel last longer. So he's probably getting some Scott Dixon advice this week on how to do the street courses, I guess.
No, and a top 10 number at plus 220. This is where I'm just banking on the fact that now we find out that he's going to get extra seat time in that 15 car. That can only help him to be a better driver in this coming Sunday. So, Joey started on the pole in Sonoma, right? Didn't have a good day, but he started on the pole. That means he had some speed. He finished 11th at Austin, one spot outside of a top 10. Are these road course races? No. But are there left and right turns on these ones? Yes. Has Joey Logano done well in the last couple of weeks? Yeah, he finished 6th at Iowa and won Nashville. So that team's on a tiny little bit of momentum. And just like Boji Joe says, good at the Roval, good slow Joey, right? Joey driving slow. That's all he needs to do around this course.
Oh, he's getting those extra laps in that Xfinity car to make sure that A&M is faster on ovals later in the season.
It's all right. I don't mind. I feel like, that boosts his confidence getting in the playoffs. And that means I'm sorry, locking himself into the playoffs. Sorry guys. I didn't mean to misquote. But I mean, that's going to give him the opportunity to play around a little bit. That 22 car is going to have the freedom to change strategy if they need to. And if they're running in the top 10, like they were last year, right. In that 9th place, in that 9th, 10th, 8th spot, then maybe they stay out. Maybe they do something. But I know, Brian. Listen, we always say that Joey Logano is one of the hardest guys to predict, and he says I have to be careful of the 22 hunting points, which hurt his overall finish. But I mean, it could also help it. That's really what can end up happening. It's a double-edged sword.
What kind of points is he? I mean, at stage win points, like outside of that, do points really matter for him? According to NBC, he's locked into the playoffs. So if there's 19 winners, it doesn't matter, or however many winners. How many people get in the playoffs? 16. If there's 17 winners, it doesn't matter, Rod. They're locked in. That's what they keep telling me. So they're going to
expand the playoffs to keep everybody because they're locked in.
They've done it before.
I know.
They added Jeff Gordon that one year, so I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah, Joey Logano is the hardest driver in the field to cap, Rod. So I don't know. All right. The Ford market. We're going to head to the Ford market. Boji Joe bringing up McDowell. McDowell is actually the favorite in the top Ford market, which is not who I'm going to take. Interesting notes, and this will be, I don't think necessarily affects this week, but I think going forward, things to note. Kevin Harvick mentioned that Michael McDowell has already been shut out of Ford meetings. This has nothing to do with Ford anymore, basically, because he's going to Chevy next year. So Ford's kind of kicked him out of the meetings. Chase Briscoe, if you noticed, was wearing the Toyota logo in the Gibbs announcement, which I thought was interesting at the time. Because, when Josh Berry went to SHR this season, he came from Chevy in the Xfinity Series, and there was no manufacturer logos on the uniform. But Edsel Ford apparently has a burner account that Kevin Harvick threw out there as knowing that it's Edsel Ford, and that one responded to a tweet that or whatever about not respecting the manufacturer you're with or something. So just a heads up, McDowell and Briscoe probably don't have any Ford support the rest of the year. So just notables going forward. But back to the top Ford market. You look at this and there's not really in the Chevy market, you've got SVG, you've got Larson, you've got Elliott. In the Toyota market, you've got Reddick, you've got Ty Gibbs, you've got even maybe Martin Truex. There's some guys who should maybe be towards the top of this. But in the Ford market, McDowell, okay, I get it. Busher, okay, I get it. Blaney, okay, I get it. Logano, okay, I get it. But nobody's oh yeah, these should be the best guys. And we had this kind of discussion yesterday about, do you just bet top Ford or Ford to win if they're at 4-1 or something? Well, they are at 4-1. So if you want that, yes, but which Ford guy is going to win? Well, I'll give you a Ford guy to win later, Rod, but you're going to want his outright and not to have Ford. But so looking at this, it's I think really anybody could take this top Ford. So I'm going to take a couple of shots here like I like to do, and I'm going to go with Austin Cindric at 10-1 and Justin Haley at 18-1. We already talked about Haley earlier, why I like him, so kind of just doubling down on that. I think that 18-1, because I looked at his top 5 is 12-1, but I think you could be the top finishing Ford and not even be inside the 5 potentially. So give me Justin Haley at 18-1. But the Austin Cindric side of things, Austin Cindric comes from, first of all, his dad is the president of Penske's IndyCar racing side of things. So he kind of grew up around that. He raced sports cars and stuff like that before coming to the NASCAR scene. We've seen him in Xfinity be very, very good at road courses. He was one of the guys that was always winning when he was in the full-time in the Xfinity Series. He's had his ups and downs on the Cup Series sides of things. I will say that. He did finish 6th place here last year, so that's notable as well. I think at 10-1, it's a good number for Cindric. So give me Cindric top Ford at 10-1, Haley top Ford at 18-1. Again, this is kind of just taking that large, it's a very large group. Obviously, you're getting all the Fords in there, but I don't know that there's any that really stand out over the other ones that much that I'm I think that the numbers you're getting this at is good. So Cindric, Haley, top Ford.
All right. So my next bet's a lot less controversial. and probably one that everybody can back good on. But I saw this and I thought this can't be. Bet365 has Reddick as a top 5 car at plus money, plus 110 for Reddick to be a top 5 car. This is definitely minus money on some of these other books that I've seen.
And
so
just to point it out too, in case you don't have Bet365, because I know not everybody does. Brandon pointed this out, but they have Reddick over on Caesars, top 5 at minus 120, much worse number than you're getting, obviously. But they also have his under 6.5 at 11.5. So if that's the only option you have, you get that extra position for a cheaper price than the top 5 over there.
See, Brian, it's not all doom and gloom with me. Tyler Reddick, top 5 car. I almost feel like I don't have to make this case. We know Tyler Reddick. We know the Toyotas. We know these guys have been just straight money from the get-go, right? That 45 car is a player when it comes to road courses, left and right turns. And Sonoma, 8th place, Coda, 5th place, Charlotte Roval, 6th place, Watkins Glen in 2023, 8th place, 4th place at the Roval, or at the road course at Indy. Rough day in Sonoma last season, but won Coda, 8th at Charlotte, 7th at Watkins Glen, won back-to-back at Indy and Road America, 5th at Coda, 2nd. I mean, the accolades go on and on and on for Tyler Reddick on road courses. Is this a road course? No, it's not. But when you look at the road course total speed ranking since 2023, thanks to our buddies at iFantasyRace.com, the name on top is not Shane Van Gisbergen, although he is second. It is Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is the first road course guy, and he actually raced all of them. I mean, the only reason Shane Van Gisbergen is even close is because he's only raced on like 3 of them. So the Tyler Reddick for the drivers that have raced all of them, it's definitely Tyler Reddick. And even if you look at last year's speed or heat chart for this particular race last year, Tyler Reddick 4th in total speed rankings on this one, 3rd in green flag. Unfortunately, he fell off, right? He was not good in a late run, fell off on speed, and then ended up finishing in a very dismal position. So, but again, with Tyler Reddick even finishing 28th, he started in 2nd place. That was an extra 20 laps. That was ridiculous weather. That was just out of his, I mean, he led 8 laps in that race. I think, and I very much think, that he is going to be a contender this week. We know exactly how good he's been, but it's kind of sad for Tyler. I mean, his average finish this season is 12.5, but he has had 2 top 6 finishes in the last couple of races. He finished 3rd at Nashville, right? Outlasted some folks because of his strategy, but he finished 8th at Sonoma after starting on the outside pole. Austin this year, he finished in the top 5. This is going to be a Tyler Reddick top 5 week, and I cannot believe that you're still getting plus money for him. So if you have Bet365, go run to that. Put this at plus 110.
Yeah, I think this is a great bet. Love everything Reddick this week. Should be really good. We saw him from the drop of the hat last year, right? Started front row with Denny Hamlin, took off, led for a while. I think he was one of them that kind of got screwed when they did the whole weird pit stop thing and then changed the restarts. I don't remember exactly how all that went, but yeah, Reddick should be really good this weekend. Obviously, he's one of the best on the road courses. So yeah, I like the bet, and I think you're getting good number there at plus 110. And even if you don't have Bet365, you can get that under 6.5 and minus 115. I think is a good alternative if that's what you can get. All right, Rod, next up for me, a couple more top 10s that I want to take some shots on, a little bit of bigger numbers. Alex Bowman, top 10 plus 300. Why Alex Bowman? He's not necessarily the guy that comes to mind when you think of the street course, I guess, Rod. But he is the guy that comes to mind when you think of just every week finishing inside the top 10. He gets it done. Not only that, he's not a bad road course racer. He consistently just kind of shows up and gets top 10s at road courses. Go back to Coda, 4th place. Go back to the Roval last year, 8th place. 5th place at Indy last year. 3rd place at Watkins Glen last year. He gets good finishes, consistent finishes, just shows there at the end. Boji Joe saying Bowman the Turtle always finishes. Like that, honestly, I don't know if you could come up with a better thing than that. It really is. Alex Bowman just gets it done and finishes in the top 10. So 3-1. I do like that. JDK wants to know if they're doing double file restarts this year. I haven't seen anything to the contrary. I know they changed it mid-race last year. That was a weather thing. That was a new thing. So, yeah. But I think that I think that they're going to keep with that. And Brandon as well. Reddick top 5 over on Fanatics is plus 110. For those who don't have 365. Fanatics and Brandon's been a much, maybe he works for Fanatics, I don't know, but he's been promoting them a lot, but because they seem to have very similar numbers to Bet365 a lot. So I think they're available in some of the places that 365 is not. So a good note there. My other top 10, Rod, Joey Hand, baby, plus 450. I know you're thinking who, but yes, I get it. Joey Hand. The thing is, though, Rod, he's not just in some, he started a couple races in the Rick Ware cars back in the not good Rick Ware days and this and that, but he's in an extra RFK car. We know these RFK cars are good. We've seen Buescher be good on road courses. Joey Hand, I think, can get it done. But the real thinking here is, again, of guys with street circuit experience. He's one of the 4 outside that I know of, outside of last year's race, obviously. But Joey Hand, if you don't know who he is a 45-year-old street car guy, basically. He's a former champion of the Star Mazda Series, co-winner of the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2011 for Chip Ganassi, the 2012 12 Hours of Sebring for Team Rahal, the 2016 24 Hours of Le Mans. And then obviously he's made 7 career starts in the Cup Series. Best finish, I think, is the 20th place. So take that for what it will. But he's been around a long time racing in this type of racing. This is his type of thing. And so if SVG could show up last year and kick everybody's ass because this was his type of racing, I don't see Joey Hand winning in this race, Rod. But I didn't see SVG winning it last year either. But I do think he's got top 10 upside. At plus 50, the number's right. It's not minus 110 or something like that. I would take it at that. But at plus 450, I do like Joey Hand there. So Alex Bowman, your perennial top 10 contender, plus 300. And Joey Hand, top 10 at plus 450.
If nothing else, the hand bet is just fun. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to cheer for. Good to bet on your hand because it's always going to deliver. So, yeah, I mean, plus 450 for Joey Hand. I like that. And, of course, Bowman, like you said, he's just the guy, right? He's the guy that's going to get it done consistently. And I don't know. I hope he does it this week. I hope that I love the 48 car. It breaks my heart that it doesn't do as well as it used to back in the day. So
yeah, and I think I guess he could be points racing still, but yeah, it'd be nice to see them kind of go for it. So Laura says howdy, late to the party.
Hi, Laura.
Hello, Laura. Welcome. Jessica as well, checking in. Brandon says he doesn't work for Fanatics, but they should pay him at this point. I agree. But
yeah, they should.
Yeah, but then he reiterates the point of they've had the best lines over the past month or so. For the non-365 folks. So, one we're going to have to definitely continue to keep an eye on as we go forward, Rob.
Indeed. I'm going to keep an eye on this next bet because they've given us, Cody. It's a gift. They get the winning car number under 16.5 at even money, plus 100 for this winning car number under 16.5.
This is, like you're getting 3 guys under this number that sign me up, please.
Yeah. So who's under 16.5? Well, guess what? Shane Van Gisbergen is the first one on there, right? That's definitely one of the guys. AJ Allmendinger in that 13 car. That's another one of those guys. You also get Denny Hamlin. I mean, we know that Denny Hamlin and road courses are still a thing. It may not be as big a thing as it used to be. You get Elliott, you get Busch, who could be pissed off enough to win. You got
Busch
Larson.
Was good here last year too.
Yeah. That's
I know
what
we
didn't
really talk about him. I know some people in the Discord are on him. We don't really have any bets on him, but he's sneaky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, you get Ross Chastain. If Ross Chastain gets Chastain enough to do this, like, there is a loaded. Yeah, this is not well, at least a couple. This is not the what was it? Let's go 21 to 47 camp where 40. Well, let's stop at 43. 21 to 43 camp where you've got like Hemrick and McDonald and Gilliland and Priest and Nemechek and Jones. Like that's not the range we're looking at. We're looking at the under 16, and that's it. I mean, under 16.5, and that's honestly 2 of the favorites there in Shane and AJ, and the favorite. I mean, Larson is not the favorite on some books, but he is actually the favorite on other books. So, yeah, I mean, you got a wide swath of good drivers under this number.
Yeah, the fact that you're getting SVG, Allmendinger, and Larson is really what does it for me. You also get Elliott tossed in there. I think that's a big one. Over the number, Christopher Bell for sure can scare you a little bit. Reddick, Gibbs, obviously, as well. But if you're going to bet on some of those guys outright, you can hedge it on the other side. So I don't mind that. We do have some breaking news, Rod, from Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic. Carson Hocevar has been penalized $50,000 and 25 driver points for intentionally spinning Harrison Burton during Sunday's Cup Series race at Nashville. If you missed that, he did spin him under caution intentionally. They didn't penalize him at the time. So, his penalty has now been handed out. So it cost him $50,000, 25 driver points. I mean, yeah, he's racing for Rookie of the Year, but probably not going to affect him too much. But $50,000 is never fun for anybody to pay.
Not even a little. Now, I mean, look, $50,000 for me, that would bankrupt it. But, for him, it's probably like, let me go to the ATM.
Yeah, I got some serious problems if I get a $50,000 fine, Rod. But
yeah.
All right.
Don't spin me out under caution then.
Let's go to winners, Rod. The favorite market is a little watered down, I think, in my opinion. SVG, if you got him early, 8-1. I know some people in Discord got him at that price. I don't hate having that price, but now he's like plus 550 a lot of places. You can make a case for any of these guys. SVG, Bell, Larson, Reddick, Elliott. Like, I like all of those guys. Then you kind of get into Truex, McDowell. No, thank you in those. But I'm just going to skip over all the favorite guys. Again, treat this more like a super speedway. Going to find some value in guys I like. AJ Allmendinger at 14-1. Rod, his teammate, is at plus 550. What are we doing here? I know it was mentioned a bunch in the chat earlier. Absolutely agree with all of the points you guys made. We are big time sleeping on AJ Allmendinger. A lot of times I don't bet him on road courses because his number's so far up and everything. And then this isn't even a road course. This is a street course where he should have even more of an advantage. I feel I'd have to go back and look at the odds from last year, Rod. But I feel like wasn't he the Wait, did he race in the Cup race?
I don't think he raced in the Cup.
I don't think he did because he was a full-time. No, wait, he was full-time Cup.
He was full-time Cup, but hold on. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm gonna look at his. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But I would almost imagine he was probably the favorite or one of the favorites going into this. This is
Allmendinger finished 17th, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Which doesn't matter because we saw what the race last year was. So again, don't care. I didn't even look at the result. I didn't even look to see if he was in the race, Rod, because it doesn't matter. 14-1 for AJ Allmendinger is an absolute crime. You know what else is a crime? Our friends over on DraftKings have Tyrone Gibbs 20-1. This is the week, Rod. Ty Gibbs gets it done, baby. 20-1 for Ty Gibbs. You got to shop for 14-1 some places. 20-1 over on DraftKings. I think he was like 18-1 on FanDuel too. If you get DraftKings, you should get FanDuel. But 20-1 for Ty Gibbs. This is the week he gets it done, Rod. He's getting himself locked into the playoffs when he wins. When does NBC start to sweat that? We've had 11 winners in 19 races. When do they start to sweat the locked into the playoffs thing?
The 15th driver.
At this point, I just want it to play out because I want them to have to eat everything. That I'm going to put together a clip of every time. It's going to be like a 3-hour clip because they say it a lot. But anyways, Ty Gibbs gets it done, wins his first career race on the streets of Chicago, locks himself into the playoffs. Give me Ty Gibbs. Brian's saying the Gibbs number will be 12 or so on Sunday. Yeah, it's not going up from here. It's only going to go down. So get in on that early. And then, Rod, go big or go home. Justin Haley, 120-1 over on FanDuel. Sign me up. That's it. I already talked about him earlier. I think that there's a chance. Look, it's 121, Rod. I don't know if you know this, but that means it's probably not going to happen. But we don't give out long shots for no reason. If he can put himself in the right position, he led 23 laps last year in a Kaulig car. He can do the same thing in a Rick Ware car. He can defend. He can get it done. Give me Justin Haley 120-1 on FanDuel.
I don't know how odds work. I don't understand this. How does 120? That means it's supposed to happen, right? It's you said it, so it's a lock, right? Anyway, all right. Plus 650 for Kyle Larson. I don't know. The handicapping here is honestly because Cody took AJ already.
You did. You beat me.
Wait, you didn't take AJ first?
Well, I did. No.
Yeah.
No.
I thought you had this block filled out.
I made the doc, and I sent it to you yesterday, and I filled in Haley top 10 and Haley to win. Then I get into the doc today. I got into the doc this morning and put the SVG top 5 in there.
Yeah.
And then you filled everything else out. I come in and I go, no, AJ, are you kidding me? Absolute gift from Rod. Thank you.
Yeah.
I lost the bets that I had on you to have SVG and AJ, but that's okay.
It's all right. Yeah. So I took Larson in this case. I mean, look, I love AJ. You know, I love AJ. I just don't know if AJ can win.
He can going at 14.
I know. But you don't have to sing me the AJ song. I know. Like, I wrote that song, but I just I don't feel like if I do it and he doesn't, I'll be heartbroken. I don't want that heartbreak. So if Larson does it and doesn't win, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Like, I think he's got a good shot. Obviously, we know his road course prowess. You give him one chance to get acquainted on a street course, and then, you know, you give him a second chance, and who knows what's going to happen, because he can drive anything with 4 wheels, maybe 6, maybe 10. I don't know. If you want a Humvee, you can drive that one of those. He did finish 4th here last year, right on the streets. That's a pretty quick stone's throw away from finishing in 1st. He's probably hit the simulator a couple times, right? He's driven alongside Lightning McQueen in those simulators, trying to keep up. And Larson at 650. He is the favorite in other places, right? And he's like plus 450 on some of these other books, but Caesars has him at plus 650, and he's not even in the top 4 or top 5 of favorites. So I think that is the only reason in which I will say Kyle Larson is a decent bet if you can get him at that plus 650 number. If the closer you get to being at 400 or whatever, I take AJ. Like that, I 1000% agree. Take AJ in that case. But if you can find Kyle Larson in this 600 range, in this, you know, you're not going to get him any higher than that. But I mean, if you can get him in the 600 range, especially at Caesars a plus 650, it's worth a shot, because he is the driver that can come out and do this. We know this, and this is not even something that I need to back up too much, because anybody knows Kyle Larson's ability to win, and Kyle Larson's ability to win on left and right turns. So yeah, give me Kyle Larson plus 650 to win this race, even though my heart will go on for AJ Allmendinger, but I can't do it.
Kyle Larson, not best race car driver in the world. I will stand by that take. And I think plus 650 is a good number for him. We know he can get it done here. He might also drive it into a tire barrier and finish last too, because that's always a possibility. But I think a plus 650, we got him at Sonoma, was a 7-1. Like, this is the type of range where you want to bet on Larson almost anywhere except for a super speedway, because he can get it done. And if he doesn't get it done, plus 650 doesn't hurt as bad as plus 300 does. So, no arguments from me there. I mean, AJ or Ty is probably winning this race, but if they don't, maybe Kyle Larson can do it.
No, AJ at least for sure, but we'll go from there. But I didn't feel confident enough to give it out, so I just, that's on me. That's on me.
And by the way, too, if you've joined us recently and not since the beginning of the show, our approach to this weekend before Rod recaps everything here, take it easier. There's not a great way to handicap this race. It's hard to look at last year. We kind of made some points from last year, but in a general sense, you can't look at last year's race a ton. You can look at the road courses for some comparison, but there's not a direct correlation. Just to throw that back out there.
Oh, I don't know, Cody. I've been talking to all the MIT quants out there. They are running those formulas for us, so we can definitely make good bets. But All right, get out your pen and paper. We are going to go over our bets without the help of the quants for this Chicago street course, this Grant Park 165. Cody started you out with, say it with me, SVG as a top 5 car at plus 100. I'm taking his teammate AJ Allmendinger over Martin Truex at plus 105 over on Superbook. Cody's giving you Justin Haley as a top 10 car at plus 450. I'm saying Ty Gibbs is going to finish outside of the top 10, therefore finishing over 10.5 at minus 115 on Caesars. You can send the hate mail to @RJ Villagomez on Twitter. I'll take it all and ignore it. Cody gave you Ty Gibbs under. He took the other side of this, minus 115 on Caesars. AJ Allmendinger also under 8.5 at minus 115 with the AJ Top Chevy to boot at plus 750. I said Joseph Logano would find his way back inside of the top 10 at plus 220 over on Bet365. Cody gave you Austin Cindric at 10-1 as a top Ford and Justin Haley at 18-1 as a top Ford. I said Tyler Reddick as a top 5 car at plus 110 on 365 was the way to go. Cody gave you a Bowman at top 10 at plus 300. And Joey Hand, the other Joey, is a top 10 at plus 450. I said the winning car number would be under 16.5 at plus 100. Cody said AJ 14-1, Ty 20-1 on DK, and Justin Haley 120-1 on FanDuel were to be the winners of this race. Where I said Kyle Larson at plus 650 on Caesars would be the one to do it. Rod just throwing away money with that Ty above 10.5 bet. We'll see.
Couldn't agree with you more. Kyle as well says, appreciate you boys. Fun first live show. Catch you in the Discord throughout the week. We appreciate when you guys join us live. The chat has been on fire today. It's been a lot of fun. If you're listening to this later on the podcast or later on the YouTube, go over to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast YouTube page. Click the subscribe button. Click the little bell up in the corner. That'll alert you when we go live. You can join us. Get in your questions, comments. We can't get to everything always, obviously, but we try to make sure we meet you guys, and we love interacting with the chat. So, and I might be by myself tomorrow, so gonna need your help on the Xfinity show for sure with the chat helping keep me alive.
Yeah, tomorrow is my escape from Virginia. So yeah, tomorrow's my escape from Virginia. So you guys can all enjoy Cody one last time by himself as I'm on a plane traveling back to my friendly homes in California. So absolutely cannot wait to be back home in my friendly confines. And by the way, listen, we don't pitch this much, and we're not ones to pander to anybody for anything, but when you get to 1,000 subscribers in YouTube, like some magic unlocks, and I don't know what that is, but I'd like to find out. So if you have friends that like this kind of stuff, or if you have friends that just like to subscribe and don't even care what they subscribe to, that's even better, because then you could just subscribe and don't even worry about it. Have them all subscribe to this channel, because like I said, I want to know what magic fairies come out and unlock this magic that they do.
And if you're a podcast listener, trust me, I get it. I'm a big podcast listener. I prefer podcasts over YouTube by far. But hey, just go click the subscribe. Help us out. You don't have to ever watch the YouTube. I wouldn't want to look at me either, so it's fine. But it helps us out, helps us get closer to that number. So we appreciate it. And we appreciate all you guys' support, all the love you guys show us, because it's a lot. And we appreciate it.
Laura's asking, do I know how hot it's going to be in California? I've been reminded already. It's going to be like 110, 112 all. I'm coming home, and hell's coming with me. That is what it is. Like, that's what I'm bringing hell with me. Little Joker, one more before we go. Talk to me next weekend to remind me how bad of a bet that was. Like I said, I'll
be reminding him. Don't worry. That's
fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. I have gotten to the point now where you can come at me, because it's okay. Like, I made a bad call. Like, it's not going to kill me. Like, it's not going to kill anybody. It may cost people some money, but I don't think they're going to go too heavy. If you don't agree with me, you're not betting with me, right? So then it didn't cost you any money. Anyway, get me all fired up before I have to go back home. All right, Cody, let's send everybody else on their way home to go place that Ty Gibbs bet, whichever side of it you want to be on. If Cody convinced you more, which you probably should.
If you're listening later, comment on the YouTube or tweet at us or something. Let us know if you're hashtag Team Rod, hashtag Team Cody. And,
I know where they're at already. They're hashtag Team Cody.
Why do you think I wanted to tell me, Rod? You think I would have said that if I thought I was going to lose? Come on, I might be not the smartest guy ever, but I'm not dumb either.
It's not a fair fight, Cody. God, I'm going to hit stop. We just need to get out of this already. No,
all right. Anyways, follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. There's a lot of it. That's basically it. Go check it all out. And appreciate all you guys who read the articles and do all that stuff. It's really great. So appreciate all the support. And see you guys for Xfinity tomorrow.
Cody's channel surfing on the Ocho, looking for any kind of sport he can get into. That's mine. That's mine right there. Whatever.
1-0,
Follow me
Rod,
on Twitter.
Who's keeping track of the score?
Follow me on Twitter, RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio to everything I got going on. Not nearly as much as Cody lately, but I'm aiming to ramp back up that way, because I too like the Ocho, and I'm all about trying to find sports to cover. So we will be back. Well, Cody will be back tomorrow with Xfinity, and we'll be back in full swing together again on Thursday to talk some DFS, and then Friday for DFS as well. And then, we'll have some fun on that side of it. So until next time, we'll see you. Let's go racing. And
SVG, SVG, SVG.
Oh, for the love of God.